G'day guys, and in today's video we're going to have a look at a really popular reel for us, and that's the Lexa HD and the Lexa TW. We're going to take a look at what both reels look like, some of the specs on both of the reels, and some of the differences between the upgraded TW model. Let's get straight into it. Now Lexa HD and Lexa TW are both suited for light jigging. They are upgraded bait cast reels, so they still have the features of a bait caster, like the thumbed spool or thumbed thumb engage for free spool. They have line guides, so when you wind your line in, that guides the line on, but they're a low profile bait cast reel. They both feature different handles, so not the traditional twin handle like a normal bait caster. They feature the longer jigging style handles, but they also feature a heavier drag than what a normal bait caster would feature. So the Lexa HD has 10 kilos of drag stopping power, so for light jigging with PE2 and PE3 lines, they have plenty of power, and in addition to that, being a low profile, you're able to thumb the spool as well when you need more drag pressure. Now the Lexa HD is currently being phased out, and it is still available at the moment, but it is the previous model. DAIWA have recently released the Lexa TW. Now, the TW features a number of benefits over the Lexa HD, and I'm going to give you a bit of a look at some of the features on it that make this essentially a better reel. So the first thing we're going to start off with is the TW T-wing system. So as you engage the spool, the line guide opens. Now this feature alone for a standard bait caster reel allows you to cast a lot further, allows the line to come off your reel easier, allows you to wind a longer leader onto your reel through the larger opening at the front, and when you engage the reel it clicks back into gear. So that is the number one first thing that we'll look at, and that's called the T-wing system. The handle is slightly different on the TW model opposed to the HD. The HD has the handle in the middle and it's not adjustable, whereas the TW has an adjustable handle. I don't know if you can see it in here, but you can actually change the position of this handle to put it out longer, or you can have it at the standard short length. I find with this reel, having it on the longer handle setting, it's just easier to wind. I find it's more comfortable for me. Now, Lexa TW also features a little bit more drag pressure, and it comes in at 13 kilos of drag. So for a small reel, it has a hell of a lot of drag pressure. Great for fishing with vibes, jigs. When you need to put a bit of stopping power, you can really crank that drag up, and you can thumb the spool when you're hooked up. But 13 kilos of drag for that small little bait casting reel. Now both the HD and the TW feature the cast control on the side, which is a magnetic brake. Now you're really not going to use this a lot for jigging, but if you are going to do any casting with this reel, it's just a magnetic brake on the spool. So as you get better at casting, you can either increase or decrease the amount of pressure that's on the spool, and you can either cast further or you can limit your cast. But they both feature this on the side of the reel. Now the HD reel has 6+1 ball bearings, but the TW has 8+1 CRBB DAIWA bearings. So we do have an upgrade in the quality of the bearings that they're using in the TW reel. They also have a slightly different gear ratio, whereas the TW has a 7.1 and a 6.3 ratio. The Lexa HD has a 7.4 and a 6.3 ratio version. Both versions are fine for jigging. I generally prefer the slightly higher versions in these smaller bait cast reels, just because you can retrieve a little bit more line a little bit quicker. The one thing I'm going to note about the TW though is the overall finish of the reel. I mean, I can even see just by looking in the camera here, the overall finish of the reel it's just a bit better than what the HD is. It features less screw holes, so you can see you've got the open screw holes on the side of the body here on the HD, but the overall finish of the reel it's just that little bit nicer. Even the handle, you look at the handle on it, it's just a little bit nicer finish. There's not as many gaps or any holes in the reel for corrosion and water to get into. But yeah, just definitely a nicer finish. Now Lexa HD and Lexa TW are available in two sizes. So we have your standard 300 size, which is by far the most popular, but they also do a slightly bigger version of a 400. So if you're going to be fishing with a heavier line, then this has more line capacity than what the 300 does. The 300 will hold about 300 meters of PE3, and the 400, which is this big one here, as you can see, it's just a little bit wider and a little bit fatter overall. But the 400 will hold 400 meters of PE4. These type of reels are really good for a number of light jigging scenarios where you don't want to have to be where you want to use an overhead, but you don't want to be constantly guiding the line on, because when you wind, the line pull on the reel guides the line on for you. So it's really good for light jigging, but the best thing that I've found this type of reel to be good for is when using vibes. So like the Vertrix vibe or any kind of soft vibe. The biggest reason that I find this type of reel is very good is because it allows you to have direct contact with your lure the whole time that you're fishing. So even when you're dropping your line down to the bottom, you're only using this reel one-handed, but you're in direct contact with your lure throughout the whole fall. So with an overhead, like a standard overhead, you have to dick around with it a little bit, and you've got a lever, and it is similar in a way, whereas you can feel your line coming off the reel, but with a smaller reel that auto engages like that. So the moment you wind that handle, I just find your thumbs on the spool, you can feel the line direct coming off the reel as your lure falls, and you're in direct, the best way I can describe it is you're in direct contact with your lure the whole time. So that's why these reels are so popular for light jigging and for vibing, deep water vibing. Now I'm just going to show you a couple of different outfits that these reels match up really well to. And first of all, we're going to look at the DAIWA Saltist Hyper SJ series. Now this is a light jigging series of rods that are an entry level or value series. They come in at $279. They feature all Fuji guides. They have the spiral wrap, so that's where the guides actually spin around on the blank. That's to eliminate any rod twist while you're hooked up and while you're fishing. They have a nice slim reel seat design, so when you hold this reel and the rod, it's very comfortable. It's just a very natural, comfortable feeling. They also feature a movable, and you can put this wherever you want. This is it's essentially to protect your rod while it's in the rod holder on the boat, or you can put it underneath your arm. But it's just a little slit piece of EVA with some rubber bands on it. Nice small little butt section. So that's the DAIWA Saltist SJ. These are available in P2, P3, P4, P5 and P6 models. So there's going to be a rod there to do pretty much any of the jigging that you want to do with this type of reel. There's going to be one in the range to suit. Next up, I'm going to look at the Assassin Pitchmaster. Now this is a new series of rods from Assassin. They've just been released. We've only had them for maybe a month now, and they really are a great, slightly above entry level. I'd say these are kind of like a medium class, mid-range rod. They come in at around $339, and they offer really good value for money. They've got a really good quality blank. We were actually, if you watched some of our content, well, earlier last year, we were testing the prototypes of these, and we really gave them a good run for their money. And they're just a good quality, mid-range rod. All Fuji componentry, Toray blanks. There's really good bindings. I don't know if you can see, but the bindings are really good on them. The rods load up extremely well. They have a Fuji reel seat also, slightly different reel seat to what the DAIWA has, but very comfortable in your hand, a lot of power in the base of the rod, and I think just a really good value for money range of rods. So that's the Assassin Pitchmaster series. Now if you want the ultimate rod for your Lexa, you really can't go past the DAIWA Spartan SJ. Now these are a flash rod that matches really nice with this reel. So firstly, again, all Fuji silicon guides. They do have the spiral wrap, so the guides wrap around the rod, which you can see all the way to the tip. Now that's to eliminate any kind of line, rod twisting when you're hooked up. The rods all feature 3DX, So if we can see that. So it's where they weave the graphite. I don't know if you can see it here, but they weave the graphite, so it's extremely strong. Not gonna say you won't break one, but you can put a lot of hurt on these rods, and they really do stand up to the test. We have this really nice DAIWA custom air sensor reel seat with the check screw on top. It really sets the rod off, but again, you can see there's the blank, exposed blank, and then we have the little rod protector and a nice butt section. But if you're looking for the best rod for your Lexa, you really can't go past these. And the same thing with these, they're available in PE2 to PE6 models. They suit a range of different jigging scenarios, but if you want the best, then you got to check one of these rods out. Anyway guys, that's a look at the Lexa TW series and the HD series of reels from DAIWA. They're extremely popular. We sell shitloads of them, and if you want to get yourself an affordable jigging reel that's really good quality, you got to check these out. They start from $529 for the TW series, and yeah, you know, if you're doing any light jigging, any vibing, this is definitely one of the ones that you want to check out. But you can check them out in store, or you can go online to TackleWest.com.au and order one for yourself. I'd love to know if you've already got a Lexa. Let us know what you think about them, and I'll see you in the next video.